So if you have your booklets, you can look at pages 61 and fill in the answers, or you can just look at the worksheet that I. Okay, so we need to match, or sorry, we need to put our events in the correct order. Okay, so at the beginning of our story, which is also called the exposition, what information do we learn at the beginning? So we have our events over here. I'll read them, and I'm going to number them to make labeling a little bit easier. So we have Nemo swims out to touch the boat because he's embarrassed his dad said he couldn't swim well. Marlin meets Dory and they face troubles on their journey to find Nemo. Marlin and Nemo are reunited. Dory gets stuck in the net, but Marlin and Nemo work together to save her. Marlin tells Nemo to have an adventure. He trusts him now. The aquarium fish make it to the ocean. Marlin, Nemo, and Dory make it back to the coral reef. And our characters are Marlin and Nemo, and the setting is the Great Barrier Reef. So who can tell us which event happens first in the beginning? Say, David, can you help us out here?
Yeah.
What happens at the beginning of our story?
Nemo swam out to touch the boat because he embarrassed. His dad said he couldn't swim well.
Does that happen at the very beginning of our movie? There's something that happens first. What information do we need before?
Character and setting.
Yes. So number 6 goes in our first box here. And this is where we learn who our characters are and what the setting of the movie is, and also some background information, right, about coral. Okay, so box number 6 goes in, is our introduction. All right, what about our next event? What goes in our next box here? Angtom?
The event.
Here, I'll cross them out as we put them on our story mountain. Okay, so what's our next event?
Next event. 1. Nemo swim out to touch the boat because he embarrassed his dad said he couldn't swim well.
Okay, so we know that Nemo, this is our inciting event. Remember, the point in the story that tells us the conflict or the problem. Right? And Nemo's conflict is that he gets caught by the divers and Marlin must follow him and rescue him. Okay, good job. All right, what about number 3 with our, this is gonna continue on with our rising action. Neymar, tell us.
Nemo person catch Nemo.
Okay, so we already have that. That's in our, so we know that Nemo touches the boat, and we'll add that and gets caught by the divers. Okay, so that's our inciting event. What happens after that? Do you see the choices on the left side of the screen over here? What happens after Nemo gets caught?
Marlin goes to find Nemo.
Which number box is it on this side?
2.
Yep, number 2. So Marlin meets Dory and they search for Nemo. Okay, and that is box number 2. All right, good job. So then let's talk about our climax, our big event. So what is the climax of this story? Myth, are you there?
Yeah.
Yes, so what's our climax? What's the big event of our story?
What? I cannot hear you.
the climax of the story. What is our big event of Finding Nemo?
Marlin and Nemo are get stuck in the net, but Marlin and Nemo work together to save her.
Okay, so our climax, the most dramatic point in the movie, the part we've all been waiting for is Marlin and Nemo are reunited. So reunited means united again, and united means to come together. So Marlin and Nemo are finally back together. And this is event number 3. And now we need to talk about our falling action. So we have our climax, turning point, back down to our solution. Harry Kane, what's our falling action?
Marlin tells Nemo to have an adventure. He trusts
Sure.
him.
Is that the falling action or is that the resolution?
Resolution.
Okay, so I want to know what the falling action is. What happens before Marlin tells Nemo to have an adventure?
Marlin, Nemo, and Dory make it back to the coral reef.
Okay, so Marlin, Nemo, and Dory get back to the reef. Okay. Number 5. And Ronaldo, what is our resolution to this story? How does our story finally end?
Marlin tells Nemo to have an adventure.
All right, so at the end of our story, Marlin tells Nemo to have an adventure. He trusts him now. And the aquarium fish make it to the ocean. Okay, so these are all of our major events in our story mountain. So I'm going to send the answer key home with you today so you can check. Give me a thumbs up if you got all the events correct on your story mountain. All right, so let's talk about some lessons that we can learn from Finding Nemo today. So if you have if you have your booklet printed out, it is going to be on pages 64 and 65. So we're going to talk about life lessons today. And then I'll send home the answer key and then what we'll do for homework. So when I send it home today, I'm going to have pictures next to each one. So it's going to look like this. You can check what we've done today, and then you'll do the last 2 by yourself. So first, we're going to talk about Dory and Marlin. Okay, so we're going to watch a clip from the movie, and I want you to see what life lesson can you learn from this clip.
Hey, Dory. If it wasn't for you, I never would have even made it here. So thank you.
Hey, wait a minute. Wait, where are you going?
It's over, Dory. We were too late. Nemo's gone. And I'm going home now.
No, you can't. Stop! Please don't go away. Please. No one's ever stuck with me for so long before. And if you leave, I remember things better with you. I do. Look, P. Sherman, 42. I remember it. I do. It's there. I know it is because when I look at you, I can feel it. And I look at you and I'm home. Please. I don't want that to go away. I don't want to forget.
I'm sorry, Dory, but I do.
Okay, so this part in the movie, how does this make us feel when we watch this part? What kind of feelings do we get? Say, Lily, how do you feel watching this part of the movie?
I feel a little bit sad.
You feel sad. Who else feels sad from watching this movie, from this part? Yeah, this is a very sad part. Okay, let's talk about. So why is Marlin leaving Dory? Sherry, why does Marlin want to leave Dory?
Marlin thinks Nemo is dead.
So Marlin thinks that Nemo is dead, makes him extremely sad. He is leaving Dory because he doesn't want to be reminded of Nemo. Okay, so when he looks at Dory, he thinks of their journey and they came all this way and now Nemo is dead. And let's talk about Dory. Dory is very upset that Marlin wants to leave her, right? Hang on, why is Dory so upset?
Dory is so upset because Dory is make Nemo.
So what does Dory say when she's with Marlin? She what? She says, she says, I remember things when I'm with you. And
I do. It's there. I know it is because when I look at you, I can feel it. And I look at you and I'm home.
so what is Dory able to do when she's around Marlin? Does she remember things when she's around him, or does she forget everything like before?
Yes.
Yes. So Dory doesn't want Marlin to leave because she remembers things when she's with him. Okay. And what else does she say in this part, Katie? When she sees Marlin, she is what? She says, when I look at you, I'm.
When she look at Marlin,
Home.
she can remember whole thing.
I'm home.
What is that? What does she just say?
Remember whole.
Whole or home?
Oh, remember home.
Okay, so when she looks at Marlin, she feels like she's at home. Okay, so what life lesson does this scene teach us? What can we learn from this scene? Lisa, what do you think? What should we do about people that are important to us? Should we let them go or should we work hard to keep them around?
We should work hard to keep them around.
All right, so work hard to keep important people around us. All right, and then what about, say, Maradona? Do you think that Dory realized how important Marlin was to her at the beginning?
No.
Okay, and then when he wants to leave, she realizes that she forgets things when he's leaving, but she remembers when he's around her. So does Dory realize that Marlin's important to her now? Maradona, does Dory yes. So we'll say don't, oh, sorry. You don't know what you have until it's gone, right? So when Marlon leaves, that's when she realizes how important he is to her. Okay, so these are our lessons here. Okay, let's watch another clip and see if we can learn another lesson. This time it's going to be about our two sea turtles, Crush and Squirt. Okay, are we ready for the video? I want everyone to be paying attention so when I ask questions, you all know the answers.
Oh my goodness!
Whoa, kill the motor, dude. Let us see what Squirt does flying solo. You so totally rock, Squirt! So give me some fin. Noggin. Dude. Oh, intro. Jellyman, Offspring. Offspring, Jellyman.
Jelly?
Totally.
Well, apparently I must have done something you all liked. Dudes.
You rock, dude.
Ow.
Curl away, my son. Oh, it's awesome, Jellyman. Little dudes are just eggs. We leave them on the beach to hatch, and then cuckoo ka-choo, they find their way back to the big old blue.
All by themselves?
Sure.
But, dude, how do you know when they're ready?
Well, you never really know, but when they know, you'll know, you know? Oh.
Let's talk about Crush. What kind of parent is Crush? Goku, are you there?
Yes,
What kind of dad is Crush?
a turtle.
Yes, he is a turtle. But what kind of dad is he to Squirt? Does he give Squirt freedom to do things by himself? Or is he overprotective like Marlin?
Protective like Marlin.
How can you tell? When Squirt gets sucked out of the current, does Crush go to rescue him? Or does he let Squirt come back in on his own?
Squirt come back on his own.
So we can say that Crush lets Squirt solve problems on his own. Okay. And David, does Crush love his son?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so does he, just because he lets Squirt do things on his own, does that mean he loves him less than Marlin loves Nemo, or the same?
The same.
So say he loves his son, but realizes that it's important for him to be independent. Okay, so what happens when Squirt gets sucked out of the current? Maradona, what does Marlin do when Squirt gets sucked out of the current?
He swim after Squirt.
Okay, and what does Crush say?
As I Marlin says, stop and stop for Squirt to do by himself.
So Marlin tries to swim after Squirt, but Crush tells him to wait and see what Squirt does flying solo. Okay. And and then what happens after that? Neymar, is Squirt able to get back in by himself?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, we'll say Squirt is able to get back into the current by himself. All right. So what life lesson can we learn from this scene? All right, Lisa, what life lesson can we learn from this scene, do you think? Should we just do things for other people or let them figure it out on their own?
Let them figure out on their own.
All right, so say it's important to let others figure out problems on their own. All right, let's look at one more clip here. This time is going to be about Bruce and the other sharks.
Hello.
Well, hi.
Name's Bruce. It's all right, I understand. Why trust a shark, right? So, what's a couple of bites like you doing out so late, eh?
Nothing. We're not doing anything. We're not even out.
Great! Then how'd you morsels like to come to a little get-together I'm having?
You mean like a party?
Yeah, you're right. A party. What do you say?
Oh, I love parties. That sounds like fun.
You know, parties are fun, and it's tempting, but we can't because...
Oh, come on, I insist.
Okay.
Hey, cut, chum!
There you are, Bruce, finally.
We got company.
Well, it's about time, mate.
We've already gone through the snacks and I'm still starving.
We almost had that feeding frenzy.
Come on, let's get this over with.
Right then, the meeting has officially come to order. Let us all say the pledge. I am a nice shark, not a mindless eating machine. If I am to change this image, I must first change myself. Fish are friends, not food.
Except stinking dolphins.
Dolphins.
Okay, so let's talk about this clip here. What does Marlin think when he first meets Bruce, Myth?
Escape. They are escape.
So it's more so Marlin than Dory, right? So we'll say Marlin is scared of Bruce, and he thinks that. What does he think Bruce will do, Myth?
Eat
Eat who?
them.
Them. So Marlin is scared of Bruce, and he thinks that Bruce will eat them. Okay. But what is Bruce really like, Ronaldo? Does Bruce want to eat them? What's the last thing that all the sharks just said in the clip? Fish are friends, not what?
Not Boone.
Food. Fish are friends, not food. So does Bruce want to eat them?
No.
No, right? So what kind of shark is Bruce? Is he a mean fish-eating machine, or is he a nice shark?
I think a nice shark.
Bruce is a nice shark. Okay, we're going to get cut off soon. So when we get cut off, come back on and we'll do live quizzes. I'm just going to do this lesson here. What lesson can we learn from this scene? I don't judge a book by its cover. Okay, or looks can be wrong. Right? At first, they thought Bruce was mean and that he was going to eat them because he has big, sharp teeth and he's a shark. But then they learn more about him and realize that he's a nice shark. Does anyone have any questions?
No.
Okay, come back. All right, come back onto the meeting so we can do live quizzes, okay?
Yes.
All right.